I would like to bring this meeting to order on May 19th at 6:03. Thank you very much. If we could have a roll call, please. Kim?
Colleen Klimzak,
Present.
Claudia Parker,
Here.
Kimberly Leonard here, Daniel Malloy absent, Judith Rayson,
Here.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Here.
Patrick McKeever will be absent also tonight.
And we need to make a change to the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. Pledge of allegiance first, if we all would please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Now, if we could make a change to the agenda. The action items, we need to move, please. Sure we do. Sorry about that. We need to move, please, the no, not adjustment of principal calendar. No. I got 'em here.
Okay, so
E.
together.
Yes. Okay, so we need to move, please, E until after closed session. Is that what we're saying? Yes. Okay, yes, please. So if we could make one change, please, moving item number E, approve adjustment of work calendar for building principals for 2021 school year to after we return from closed session. That's the only change. I could have someone please make a motion to accept the agenda with that one change.
I'll make the motion.
And a second. I'll second. Thanks.
Claudia Parker.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Judy Rayson,
Yes.
Colleen Klimzak,
Yes.
Kim Leonard. Yes, motion is passed.
If we could start with staff reports, please.
Okay, well, we're going to start talking with the American Heart Association. As you know, the district has been engaged working with the Heart Association for several years. And I'm going to have Tim Sheldon talk about the relationship and what we've been doing this year.
So it's my pleasure to speak to the board tonight about the efforts at Southeast this year in terms of the Kids Heart Challenge. But I also want to recognize all of the schools are going to be engaged in the Kids Heart Challenge. And by going early, I know that we'll now have a target on our backs to beat our goals. But this year, we collaborate with the American Heart Association, and I want to recognize specifically Whitney Smizer, who's worked with the district for several years and is a big support to all the staff members who participate in that. This year, we thought we set an ambitious goal when we targeted raising $5,500 as a school. That was significantly more than we had raised in past years. Kids get excited about it because in addition to obviously the good works, as they raise money and recruit people to sign up, they win little emoji guys that they carry around with them on their backpacks, and they're very excited and they're recognized like on a scoreboard in the school. And this year at Southeast, Mr. Stephen Karras and Ms. Cynthia Meyer really went above and beyond. And within the first 2 days, we had basically blown past our goal. And so long story short, including some of the extra recognition that we got, we raised almost $13,000 for the American Heart Association, so almost tripling our goal. And I just felt it was really important to recognize that awesome effort on the part of not only those two staff members, but all of our teachers who encourage the kids. And of course, most importantly, the generosity of our families. And this is a difficult time for many people. And the fact that they're supporting such a noble cause in such a big way is really commendable.
That's amazing. $13,000 from a $5,500 goal.
Yes.
Wow, that is just stupendous. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And do we have,
They're not here.
they are not, okay, very good. That's remarkable. And so all the other principals get to step up and compete. Little healthy competition, right?
And I believe she came last year. Didn't she come last year?
She came in the fall. Remember, she came in the fall.
Oh, she came in the fall.
'Cause we
Like, I
couldn't-
remember meeting her
We
too.
couldn't be in
Yeah,
person.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
That is just fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay,
So our next item, someone you should know, and we've got a few someone you should knows. We're going to begin with MJ Berg from Advocate Aurora Health, and Dr. Rita will come up and speak on her behalf.
So we've had the pleasure of meeting and knowing MJ Burr through our partnership with Advocate Aurora. This is actually her LinkedIn profile picture. I found that out by researching her, and I learned something new by looking at her page. And it's not surprising. MJ has a bachelor's degree in sociology and psychology. And it's not surprising because she brings a service-oriented mindset to her work at Advocate as a benefit solution executive. So we approached MJ at a critical time when we were trying to make sense of COVID and our return to school and what this would mean for our daily lives. And we expressed the need to provide our staff and our parents with options to address their physical and their emotional well-being. And MJ listened patiently and took notes and consulted with her team. She explored resources within Advocate and offered a menu of services for our district to select from. And we're really grateful for that. And I'm not sure what MJ's working hours are because linking us with the right people at the right time. So for instance, we called her again in December and asked us to provide us with training for our staff on mindfulness, and she answered. And then we called her again to provide assistance with obtaining our CLIA waiver and to provide training to our staff on resiliency and parent training regarding COVID vaccines. And every time we called MJ, she answered. She answered our calls because she embodies all of the qualities of a servant leader. And that includes stewardship, foresight, exceptional listening skills, but more importantly, healing within our community. And for this reason, MJ Berg is someone that you should know.
You're just beyond kind. It's been a fabulous experience, and I just really feel like our partnership is really just getting started.
Yes.
And I think what we have found is a way to listen intently and be very solution oriented. And we do not always have the answer the first
Yeah.
time we talk, but we noodle on it, we figure out what we need to do. And I'm happy that we got so many things off of our to-do list, but we just got to keep adding to them. So thank you so much. It was very kind recognition, and we want to do more.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, thank you.
Yes, I want to get a picture with you.
No, I think we have to have our masks on for the time.
everyone will know when that picture was taken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, these will be in our time capsules.
Okay, our second person you should know is Julie O'Connor. She served the district as a general and special education teacher throughout her tenure within the district, and in recent years, she served in the leadership role within the bargaining unit. Tonight, we're recognizing her for her leadership as chair of the district review team. The district review team is a collaborative, conversational, problem-solving model which provides an extension for the building level review team. Each meeting, she's well prepared. In fact, I got the agenda already today. She's intelligent and she's thoughtful. We begin each meeting celebrating the many wonderful personal and professional things going on within the buildings. It reminds us of what is really important, the individuals who serve our children and the relationships we share benefiting our children. Each agenda is prepared in advance, organized according to topic, and regularly sharing potential solutions. The DRT meeting has been one of the highlights of Leila's and my time here. We appreciate you, Julie O'Connor, and the entire team for supporting the district's improvement efforts and always coming to the table in a synergistic, supportive way. Congratulations, Julie, on a job well done. And that's why Julie is someone you should know.
Thank you, Margaret. It's been a pleasure working with all of you here too. I really feel like this is, of all the years, this is the most important for us to have these collaborative relationships. So I'm just more than happy to help it. So.
Yeah.
Because we can't hug now, right? It's being mine, maybe.
1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, Julie.
Okay, our next someone you should know is Linda Blazer and Carrie.
Good evening. Thank you, school board, for allowing me this opportunity to spotlight someone you should know. And this someone you should know is Linda Blazer. Linda has been a teacher in the district for 21 years and in education for 35. She currently teaches kindergarten at Northeast School. And I have a special, soft spot for kindergarten. So I feel like it's in my blood and I'm in her classroom probably almost every day. Today we, probably a little too long because we're telling jokes, but it was fun. But not only have I had the privilege to work with her as a colleague, parallel in terms of collaborating with her at grade level meetings, now I get to work with her side by side on a daily basis. Linda, a kindergarten teacher, integrates a world of learning by teaching her students social skills, personal hygiene, basic reading skills, math readiness skills, science and social studies skills, but most importantly, life skills. She believes her students can achieve great things and she interacts with them in so many different ways to encourage improvement and to motivate them to dream big. And it turns out this positive motivation exactly does that. Each and every one of her students believes in themselves and believes that they can do it. Just alone in this last month, Mrs. Blazer and her class raised 7 baby chicks and 10 butterflies. These experiences to us are very cute and we're very proud, but to the kindergarten students in her classroom, they build confidence, they build character, and both of these are the foundation of a successful learner. Outside the classroom, Linda wears many professional hats. This year alone, she has helped to organize our Kindness Club by finding creative ways during this pandemic to serve our community. She serves on the PBIS committee, the BLT team, the BERT team, and most recently, the para committee. She is indeed not only an active member, or not only a member, but also an active member on each of these committees. She's always willing to step up and help out and organize in any way. She's recently also spearheaded our ABC school-wide countdown and is always providing the Northeast staff with resources and guidance. I am in awe of Linda and her willingness to volunteer and how she goes above and beyond the call of the kindergarten duty. This is the reason you should know Linda Blazer. It's amazing to be with Carrie and to be here with Julie tonight. Kindergarten's where it's at.
All right. 2, 3. Congrats.
Dr. Bannock will talk about Cheyenne Nadim.
Good evening. So we have such great teachers here in District 124, and one of them is one of our first year teachers at Northwest, Mr. Cheyenne Nadim. So he actually is not from the United States. He was an international student at Knox College, and he came from Lahore in Pakistan. So he came to the US as a soccer recruit, actually, and he started out as an economics major. But he explored the liberal arts and ended up falling in love with education. And he actually didn't tell his parents about that for 3 years because education is not as revered in Pakistan as it is here in the United States. But we're glad that he chose that route. So he came to Northwest, and one of the great things about him is that he's so willing to share his culture. So he visited Pakistan, and he had his students drop off an item that he took with him on the trip, and then he used it almost like Flat Stanley, how they do and take pictures. So he did that with the students' objects and took pictures on the plane or at different places with them. And he did a journal and seesaw with the students as he was on his trip. He even had his students try eating ketchup with pizza, which I guess is a favorite thing to do.
Southern Illinois too.
And he didn't know how the students respond, so he asked the parents, and it was actually the parents who were like, yeah, keep doing this, because they wanted to learn more about Pakistan along with their students. So it was a great opportunity for them. One of the neat things too was he was observing Ramadan, where you fast from food and water for 30 days from sunup to sundown. And the staff actually rallied around him and had their own fast-a-thon and tried to do it with them on one of the days, which was great. He really integrates culture within his classroom. So he celebrates for example, he celebrated Black History Month. And he talked about a famous figure every day, and then had students talk about how they could help. So he takes that learning the next step and not just talking about things, but what students can do to make a difference. So as a result of all this, the class feels very comfortable to share and to grow into their full potential. And his dedication to the students is great. And he also does coaching outside with the Evergreen Park, Oakland, and Bridgeview Park districts. So for all these reasons, he is someone that you should know.
I forgot my job.
Thank you so much, everyone. Try ketchup with pizza. That's all I can say.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. That's great. Thank you.
And our final someone you should know, last but not least, Dr. Vita Newman currently serves as the Director of Student Support Services. She's been with the district for over 8 years, and this year she has extended her role as Evergreen Park Elementary School District 124's COVID-19 czar. Working long hours, Dr. Newman keeps abreast of the CDC, the IDPH, and the American Academy of Pediatric guidelines. In addition, Dr. Newman became Dr. Newman during the pandemic, earning her doctorate from Loyola University. This year, she has developed and cultivated a relationship with Price Advocate Health, providing educational opportunities for our families and staff. No one said keeping schools open during a pandemic would be easy. But with Dr. Newman's constant support and knowledge, the district successfully remained open, supporting our families, our children, and our staff to ensure a healthy, safe environment. If you know Dr. Newman, you know she is humble and self-effacing. She was educated and trained as a social worker in an earlier life, so she has a way of calming down even the roughest waters. One of our teachers called her an advocate for children. And by working with our building level staff to follow challenging protocols, she has been that bridge over troubled waters. This is why Dr. Newman is someone you should know. That's her LinkedIn picture, right?
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you all for sharing the folks that we should know, and also for all of you who are joining us this evening to be appreciated. We do appreciate you and all that you have done for our district. So thank you so much. I will speak to the Judy Mulcone Scholarship. There she is. Last, do I have to say we couldn't do it last year? Do I?
Really?
You know, so let's just say it is time this year for us to discuss the Judy Mulcone Scholarship. She was a PE teacher at Central forever, who did pass away after a battle with cancer. And the kids have done fundraisers and walkathons, and they did, fundraisers, t-shirts and things like that. And that was all going towards the cancer research, but also for the volleyball scholarship. So how it works is a student is nominated either by themselves, a family member, or teacher, and they are awarded scholarship money to attend an athletic camp over the summer. So now that we have athletic camps over the summer again, this is again an option, which is really, really great. And so we will open the scholarship application on our website. Thank you, Alex, for already crafting, updating our form. Students or family or staff can go and nominate the student, and there's a couple questions, and why they think that the student should receive the scholarship, and we will review them again. Well, we'll review them, and then we'll discuss it again at the June meeting. So if there's things that the kids want to sign up for, hopefully we will still be able to. Yeah, junior high students, absolutely. And just, some of the questions were, explain why they're deserving based on their athletic skills, but also interscholastic, intramural and club activities in keeping with the good sportsmanship and attitudes that Mrs. Mulcone shared. So that will be available on the website tomorrow, and the deadline is in 2 weeks. Excellent. Any questions? My kid, I knew, I have older kids, so yeah, we spent a lot of time with this.
She was a wonderful
She was.
teacher, person, yeah. And Dr. Longo, did you work with her or no?
I hired her,
Oh,
and Linda Blazer, and Julie.
Oh my God.
Together, Judy and I together.
Oh, I love
1997.
that.
1997, yes.
Oh, I love that. That's wonderful. And so, thank you. So that's no questions.
So I think our commitment, the year that we did it prior to last year was up to $500 per child that they could request for the camps, and
that is all listed on the application.
oh, is it?
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and we'll, like I said, we'll receive that information, or if it's not listed, perhaps, oh, no, okay, up to 500.
It is.
The students, is it part of the central announcements or is it just word of mouth on the website?
It goes out with our newsletter.
I think the kids are told about it in homeroom. I think that's how it worked 2 years ago, that they were, like, they get the daily announcements. I know a couple of years ago, the daily announcements were also attached in an email. So after the announcements were over, if the kids did not hear it, they used to get an email also recapping announcements, daily announcements. I don't know if they still do that this year.
Okay.
Parents get an email from Central every Friday, so we can include it in there. That goes.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure if I sent some emails tomorrow, there might be some people who could make sure that kids know. So, and I know that you've been really good about sharing forms and things in the weekly district-wide. So bless you. So, we'll have it covered in multiple places and have that available for folks to submit. Great, thank you. Okay. Registration and residency procedure.
So at this date, our count is 1,684 kids have already registered, which is fantastic. We have returning student registration. We opened the portal on April 27th. And parents received an email and have been advised to complete the online enrollment by June 4th. The residency documents are being accepted digitally. The open registration week will be August 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And the times are sent out in our newsletter. We have a make-up residency appointment on August 9th and a make-up payment appointment. So new student registration, the online portal will be available on June 4th to incoming new students, kindergarten through grade 8. And registration and residency appointments will be scheduled in person starting July 13th through July 29th or August 9th and beyond that. Registration fees are going to be discussed in our business section. Student packet pickup is August 17th from 3 p.m. and 4:30 from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes,
It is.
right. Everybody's
Good.
all excited about whose class, who's and who, and who's, yeah. And all of that information will also be available, right, if it's not already.
Yes.
Because I know that was a whole lot of numbers and I don't know if I remember the all, so that's awesome. Thank you so much.
And we're very excited that the State Board of Education is going to be announcing all people will be in-person learning. So we're really excited about that. The next is Deb Misisich. She's going to talk about our summer feeding program. We're really excited that the state is extending this for us.
Good evening. So to give you a brief overview of what we'll be offering this summer, for in-person learners, we'll be offering breakfast at both Northwest and Central Middle School before the school day begins. And then we'll be also offering, that will be closed session available only for in-person learners. And then for the community, we'll be offering a grab and go pickup option for anyone 18 years and younger, free of charge. The meal option will be a breakfast and lunch for several days, and we'll be offering that pickup for what looks like to be 2 days during the week. The days and times are still to be determined, just trying to lock down logistics, staffing, product availability, and things like that. So once all that is finalized, it will be put out into made public through the newsletter and available on the website as well.
That's really great.
Yeah, I'd like to know what is like the participation rate? Like, how do you determine how many meals are actually being picked up?
So I'm going to look at what we did last year. We started off strong at the beginning of the pandemic, serving 300 meals a day. And then it kind of dipped off to we were doing about 125 a day in the middle of summer. So, and the way that I do that is I make a menu that will rotate. So, we bring in a lot of product in the beginning and just forecast for a couple hundred. And then I'll have staff there. So if we need to prepare more as people are coming in, we could do that. And so we'll forecast for it. And then we basically continue to see the numbers generally look the same for several weeks and there's a trend. So
Sure, thank you.
All right, I got a couple questions for you. So is there a way we could offer also the kids who are going to be attending summer school, like a grab and go as they leave, they would also receive the lunch at those days that they're in school? I know you're gonna give them breakfast, it says beforehand, but food insecurity is a big thing. I mean, we still have unemployment at a, high, there are parents that are just having a hard time. So I'm thinking it'd also be another way to get some of these lunches out to the kids who are, you know what I mean? If it's a grab and go, they can get them on their way out of the classroom at the end of the day at those two buildings.
okay, I could definitely look at, we'll be at Central, so those students
Right.
will have that option to grab.
Oh,
the-
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess the Northwest school. And then have we ever thought of notifying the village to have it put in their weekly blast out to the village, also reminding parents to come get their lunches for the kids, if they wanted to?
Sure, that's a great idea. I'm not familiar with the blast, but I'm
Okay.
sure I can find out more information
Yeah,
about it.
I think Mary Panuski, who used to be on board, I think her husband runs that, right? Yeah, so I think that if we contacted the village also to remind, ask them if they would, promote it. I just, kids are still hungry. I mean, we still, and what we can do to help them, I think is great. I'm so excited that we're gonna have this for them, so.
Yeah, great idea. Anything else?
Are they doing next year? What are they doing next year? Are they waiving?
It's free lunch.
It is free,
next year.
it is free lunch.
Yep.
So now I got another question. So we also have parents who the year before, when we had the pandemic, at the end of the school year, they still had money in their accounts. So if we thought about what we're gonna do, because there's parents with money in those accounts that then put it into this year and then school was waived.
Mhm.
Are we going to notify them that they have money in the accounts? Because that'd be a great way also to help them if they have.
Sure, I'll have to work with the business office about that. But yeah, there is an information on my part of the website that does specify if you want a refund or reimbursement.
Yeah, I just think that they've forgotten at this point. You know what I mean? It's probably, I just think it sounds silly, but we probably have had parents who have $30 or $40, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's also, groceries for a night or whatever, right?
Or
We're
can
not
be a
gonna be-
credit to their school fees for next year.
Yeah, or credit, great idea. I'm not trying to make Tim and Eric, cross their eyes going, what are you doing? But yeah. He's already telling us who's gonna be. Thank you.
I'll work with them.
Yes.
Anything else?
And we've one freedom of information request from Mandy Dorman of Dorman Bell LLP.
It's not time for smart procure time. Seems like every month they're on here.
Okay, I'm sure they'll be back. So we are on to the business office.
All right, starting off with revenues. Right now, our revenue base of 26,800,000 year-to-date actual is almost even with last year's levels. Last month we talked about my concern about the delay in levy collections. And this month we collected probably twice as much as we have collected in the past, but we are still woefully behind the levels we should be at this stage in the game. Traditionally speaking, May and June, we rarely collect more than $50,000. And right now we're about $900,000 short of the expectations of the standard level of collections. So it very well may be that it may not be collected within this fiscal year, which would then in turn make it very difficult to have a balanced budget. Because a lot of our expenses, as I'll talk about in a few minutes, are well under control and things are going very well on that side of the business. But the revenues is something that's quite out of our control. Of that 26,800,000, 80% of it is levy based. So levies are a very important part of our revenue source. But I'll keep you posted next month. Hopefully this will all go away. I know that Cook County gave a 60-day delay in that you could pay your fees 60 days later without incurring a fine. I just don't know how much impact that really had, because I would generally characterize the banks that if you had been putting it away with your mortgage payment in an escrow, they paid it. So that it isn't that money. It would almost be for people that have no mortgage. I can't imagine there's too many of them. All right, so the next side of the financials is the expense side. As I've said before, expense-wise, if you were to exclude COVID-related expenses that we've incurred this year, which is obviously rather unique, and by COVID-related expenses, we've spent about $1,200,000 on COVID-related incremental costs to operating the district during these kinds of times. So pulling that out of the factor, we've spent like $900,000 less than we normally do in operationally. So expense wise, we're fairly comfortable. But the savings we have in our expenses would not be enough to counteract the revenue shortfall. Right now, we have $11,700,000 in our current fund balance. That's about a 5-month supply. We are always trying to shoot for 6. That's generally, our levels fluctuate throughout the course of the year. Had we collected the funds from the levy that I just spoke of, would actually be 5.4. So that just shows you how monumental that deviation is impacting us. Are there any questions as it relates to the financials? And then we'll move on to the next phase. During the committee with the whole meeting last week, we discussed the bid proposals we had out for the various auditing firms. And as Eric has indicated, we'd like to go with Lautenberg and Aham. Amen? So we would like to then, if you so vote that way, then get that process started.
Responsible bidder, right?
Yeah, they were the lowest bidder. They, quite frankly, I saw them personally as a great fit. They're just the right size. Some firms are too large, and I don't know if we're the important customer. And some are so small that any little hiccup on their department, we feel the ramifications for it. So I think it's just the right size for us. Next topic is the extended day view, which is something we normally deal with several months ago. But we've kind of been looking at extended day a little differently and putting a little bit brighter light on it. And what we're going to try to do this year is normally we had a 1-day rate, and if you used 2 days, 3 days, it was just a multiple of that 1-day rate. And really, as a business, if you're doing 5 days a week, you should have a certain economies of scale. And if you only want to have us 3, then we have to charge a little bit of a premium because in some cases you're blocking a 5-day rate for us. But then this is typically the way childcare centers throughout the country operate, where they have a 5-day, a 3-day, 2-day, and now if you want 1 day to add, it's more premium based. Bottom line is our general day rate, or if you were to go to the 5-day rate versus last year, picking 5 1-day rates, we're going up about 3%. So we're not going up that much in the tuition base, but we are going up by packaging it differently. And we're hoping that with doing that, we'll possibly have a little tweak to our revenue, and then obviously operate our expenses a little bit more judiciously and be a self-sustaining, self-sufficient operation, which we have not been able to do in the last few years, which of course was driven by COVID in a lot of cases. So that is my general proposal on that. Dominate the floor here. What else do I gotta go through? All right.
I think Brian is going to join you for the roofing.
Oh, is Brian gonna handle this one?
He's gonna join you.
Come on down.
And Mr. Kostecki, thank you for your work.
All right.
I mean, I know that was a lot of back and forth, so appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, sorry.
The letter.
By quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, enlighten us.
Okay, well, the numbers I have in front of me are that I left on my desk. We have 2 buildings that are in need of some roof replacement. This building is one of them. It has about 20% of the roof that needs to be replaced. And the numbers I had on that was 19,450 from, well, maybe these are the combined numbers. Okay, so this building was 19,450 and that was Tremco Roofing. Tremco Roofing is currently does our warranty work for us on all the roofs of our buildings, so that's actually sort of a no-brainer. And the other building was the maintenance facility, and the numbers on that were 39,125.
That makes sense. Yep, so 58. Okay.
Yeah, so, and once again, Tremco's was a little bit on that.
And we already have an established relationship with Trumco.
Oh, yeah,
We're
they've
satisfied
done our
with their
warranty
work.
work for probably 10 years or so.
But even though we do, I think that it's very important to go out to bid to
Oh,
get the
absolutely.
lowest responsible bidder.
No, absolutely.
What's this, like, the sky?
That's what I was looking at.
That was our local.
That's twice the amount.
Like,
Oh, wow.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we are on to curriculum and instruction. Update on graduation.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you for giving me the time to speak. I did bring some notes because since we last heard about it, we've had some updates. We're thrilled that we can do so much more for the 8th graders now that just things are a little bit different, getting a little bit back to normal. So we do have our drive-through graduation that we had talked about is still on June 2nd. That Wednesday. It'll be at 6 o'clock at Central. For those of you that saw it last year, the banner that our boosters, we have awesome boosters. They help us and provide whatever they can with the fundraising they do. They had this awesome banner made, but they put 2020 on it. And Mr. Richmond brought it back. The company is going to change the date for us and send it back. So we'll have that in a balloon arch. We have about 26 families as of right now that have signed up for the drive-through. Pretty much similar format if you were there last year. We're not going to stagger the times because there's not that many. They can start lining up. We'll have the street blocked off into the parking lot like we did last year. And they'll come up with the graduate, will get their diploma and they can take their pictures and then they're on their way.
I'm
So
glad.
that's at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, our in-person, it's gonna be beautiful weather. So we're all,
Yes.
we're gonna be at the high school at 6 o'clock for graduation. We went last week and met with Mr. Sanderson and his building and grounds crew, I think a week ago Monday. And we just walked through what their setup, we're gonna use the exact same setup as theirs. It's totally lending itself to the same format we would do. We're gonna go over next Wednesday to their actual practice. And I think maybe Alex is joining our central staff and Lisa Cruz, our choir teacher, those of you that know Lisa, she's coming as well to see how their sound is for, because we are gonna have choir sing. So we will go over there. We're basically gonna utilize the same setup. They have it marked off already, their stands for socially distanced. And we'll have, do you wanna know what the setup's gonna be? It's actually super cool. They have, so the families will sit in the home stands facing the football field and the graduates will be split in half facing each other. And then the stand, like the stage would be like where you guys are facing, but there's gonna be a walkway in the middle so you can see from the stands. So they we walked through it with them and then I know there was a little back and forth and they sent us over basically their drawing and we all think, the three of us think it'll work perfect. So we're excited about that. We're gonna closely be monitoring the forecast. They would like to know by like the latest, maybe late Monday night or Tuesday morning. So basically we just have to hold out for no rain. In the event of rain, we'll bring it inside and we have a full backup plan. Though, for those of you that have been to the inside, they will split it into team 8A and 8B and it'll run like the typical indoor for those of you that.
How many students are graduating this year?
At the, what did I say, 26, so there's about I'd say 195 that will be in person, give or take, if we have 26 coming. Does anyone have questions right now? I feel like.
Is it at the same time, 6 o'clock?
It would be 6 o'clock for team 8A, and all of this communication will go out to parents. We have a very detailed list. 8B would be 7 o'clock. So we would have to split them in half just due to sizing.
So
indoors.
8A would be at 6 o'clock.
6 to 6:45-ish, and would give us about 15 minutes.
That's what I was gonna say, are we allowing 15
Yes,
minutes?
we absolutely are, and we'll communicate out where they should come in, where they should leave, inside or outside.
So my only suggestion or my only question would be, so just to say 6 to 6:45, we, 15 minutes outside the gym. That's a lot to also get out the door and
Right.
take pictures with them.
Well, and that's what we were talking about when we go back over there on Wednesday, finding specific spots so we can let them know there would be places to take pictures that wouldn't be right in front of the door when other people are.
Right, and then we also have the teachers who will also want to probably be out there. I mean, kids are gonna want to take pictures. I think you should give yourselves a half hour. I don't know. I just feel like then
We
they,
can talk, you mean the stagger time in between?
yeah, only because 15 minutes to clean and sanitize, but that doesn't, then your teachers also have to go back and then get those kids rallied in line, you know what I mean?
Well, it would be the team, their teachers would be with them because it's by
Oh,
team.
because team A is not.
So the holding room of students would have their own.
I'm like, how those teachers
Yeah.
gonna turn around and
They
do
would
this so
have,
quickly?
so 8A would be with their 8A students while 8B
And then
would
8B,
have, yes.
gotcha, okay.
And then we would just figure out, mapping out where they would need to come in and leave so that there's not that overflow.
Yeah, 15 minutes is cutting it very closely, but whatever works, yes.
So how are you incorporating us? Because in the past, we have participated by handing things out. I'm assuming we're not gonna be doing
Well,
that.
right, and that's what we were kind of.
Just gonna stand there and
talking
smile.
about. So there will be the seats on the stage for the board, and I know that Mrs. Prado I think, sent an email about who was, I don't know, are you gonna be passing? Okay, because I know.
I'm gonna be speaking.
And then
I don't know about
whoever's handing
passing.
the diplomas, but in the
So
past,
in the past.
it was a lot of changeover,
It
and it was,
was.
you'd switch like maybe a third of the way through the
Yeah.
alphabet. So that would be something I think we can work with if
And maybe there should only be one
one
person
person
at a time.
passing them out, and
That's
The
true.
so what it is though, it's like one person's passing the diploma.
right, and the
And then
other
the
person.
person, because the photographer doesn't always get that picture. So it gives him an opportunity to get it with somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, the second person.
The second person,
Okay.
right? So I would, if we socially distance, however we do it, but yeah, I would.
Us up there as well,
Right.
socially distancing us.
Just giving this photographer enough time, because
Right.
some parents are like dying for that picture,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, I'm
So
sure,
it's really
especially this
important.
year, I'm sure everyone is.
Grace is like, do we have to buy?
We will look,
Yes,
when they go, I'll look at the setup at the stage on Wednesday as well and see how they have their board positioned too,
Okay,
and
yeah.
we can let all of you guys know. Does that work?
That works.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have the ubiquitous hand
Right.
sanitizer and, on every table these days, so just pass.
And maybe something different, and maybe, I kind of sent you an email talking about this too, like, maybe instead we will just have the student pick it up to hold as opposed to us touching every
Right.
student's hand.
That's true.
And then they could stand next to us as opposed to
Right,
us.
and then you're not handing it and.
Because I can foresee like the amount of hand sanitizer and those sweaty junior high kid hands, oh my gosh.
It might be warm, so. they
Right,
could be
I mean, the
without
table is
hands
large
for
enough,
like-
one of them could pick it up and then they walk to us. Just a thought. Yeah. this
See
is
what
so
we
new.
can
That's what we need though, all good
Perfect.
brainstorming.
Oh, absolutely.
Any other questions? I just have a couple more. I'm just trying to want to make sure that I let you guys.
Guys are really considering all the contingencies,
Yes.
and I really, really
Oh,
appreciate that.
thanks. All three of us, and even the 8th grade teachers, that's what I was gonna say right now. We met this morning, are all happy to have the opportunity to
Oh,
do it.
I'm
It's
sure.
awesome. I'm thrilled for all of the kids. We met with the advisory 8th grade teachers this year, just to kind of go over everything we're talking about. We're finalizing the program. Mrs. Sullivan was working on that to get you the draft. And like I said, families will be communicated all of this very specific instructions ahead of time. That way, if anyone has questions, they can reach out, and we are winding down. We have some fun activities planned for the kids. And we're all super excited. It's coming up.
Very
Anybody
excited.
have any other questions? And we are planning stuff for 6th and 7th grade too. That's coming. It's not
Oh,
just
of course.
for our
It is
graduates.
all about the 8th
You know,
graders.
but like, we're getting through these couple things and we do have fun
That
stuff.
was your list, so we get it. No,
But
you
no,
did.
we're super excited. We all are. It's great.
And it is so great to be able to do it. in
I know,
person.
isn't it though? It's awesome.
Except the drive-through last year was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun,
I
except for
think
that
so,
little
right?
whip of rain.
The people that are coming will love that too. I think
Yeah.
either option works for whatever
It's a great
works
photo op.
for you.
Yeah.
And both are equally as wonderful.
Yeah, they get to choose.
Excellent.
That's
I'm
really,
very
really
excited
great.
for
So we're doing
graduation.
the drive-through and virtual and in person?
No,
No,
no virtual. We're gonna,
No
no,
virtual.
not like, yes, so
I
it's
see.
the
Okay.
drive-through or,
So it's the drive-through
Yes.
took the place of the virtual. Got it. So there's still two forms of in-person. I love it.
and they can choose. Great job. Thanks for all of your work. I know this is a lot to think about, so thank you. And then more from Central Middle School. This isn't just the 8th graders now, so see, we get to hear a little bit more.
It's still about the 8th grade. Everything's about the 8th grade. So just a little update on National Junior Honor Society. This year, Ms. Gibbons took over National Junior Honor Society for Mr. Sullivan, who moved over the previous years. This year, Ms. Gibbons assisted students with coming up with, making cards and giving treats out to the nurses at Little Company. They helped pass out food at District Christmas during Christmas time, volunteered at EP Library to help paint murals. In addition to that, right now, we're doing the ABC, kind of like the countdown. So National Junior Honor Society, I said slow, is over there. So every day there's a different theme according to the alphabet. So tomorrow is Quiet Day. But
Good luck with that.
right. But like I said, it's been a great experience this year working with the National Junior Honor Society students. They assisted with, remember, the helping out the 5th graders, become familiar with Central, the virtual aspect, and also the online. The ceremony for NJHS will be at 6 o'clock on June 8th. Okay, those 8th grade students, because graduation is before that ceremony, they'll get their awards and ribbons before, so they can wear them on their cap with their cap and gowns. Okay, and still come to the ceremony on the 8th. We have 46 students that are being inducted into National Junior Honor Society this year. So we got a big number. We actually, the part of that ceremony, probably break it up into 2 parts, similar to graduation, given the number of students, new students that we have. So that'll bring us up to 67 members overall going into next school year. And yeah,
That's great. That's
How
a
are
lot to
those
be
students
proud of.
notified? Is it a surprise or do they already know?
no, so Ms. Gibbons actually sent out an email. She alerted them on Google Classroom. So the way they are aware of that they've been selected, and of course, communicating with parents.
I saw everybody in their pajamas today.
Yes, they was pajama day. They're asking where your pajamas at. Like, nope, got board meeting tonight. Can't wear pajamas. They know I come with my superhero stuff.
We would have understood. We might have had to take a picture.
I'll remember next time. Okay.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad, again, so they deserve that celebration. They deserve to be acknowledged and appreciated
Yes.
For their achievements. And that's really, I'm just so glad we can do that for them this year.
I saw the roller coasters too. Those were.
Yes, that was science.
Yeah.
Ms. Ryan and Ms. Celeste did an awesome job with helping them, create those roller coasters. A lot of paper used.
There was so, there was like, I saw the kids walking down the street with like big, huge.
Yeah.
Is that the science where they couldn't use anything but paper?
It was all.
I think they pretty much use paper. I don't know what they use to hold. I think tape
It
to
was
build these
paper
roller
and
coasters. But I seen it for the first time last year when I started, and I was like just amazed by it because some of the kids just roller coasters this high from the ground.
Yeah.
And you got a little marble in there, you see it go around, and our science teachers are great, and they do an awesome job.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making little architects.
Yeah.
Even the students who are remote, like they came to Central, picked up all the paper and products they needed, and they worked on it at home, remotely. And they,
And they sent in the video to prove that it worked too. I
Yes.
love
Oh,
that.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Wow. Good things going on.
great things going on.
Thank you so
Great job.
much. Very exciting. Do we have, Sonia, any public comments? All right. So, hear please from our unique partner. Welcome.
Good evening. First of all, congratulations, Claudia and Colleen, on your new roles on the school board. We want to begin tonight by thanking the board and the superintendents and Sonia for allowing us time on the agenda during every school board meeting. We feel it has made a positive difference to increase collaboration, and we look forward to the continued communication next year. We would like to also thank Dr. Longo, Dr. Bridges, Webb, and the administration for their continued work with us during this very unconventional school year. While there were times we have disagreed, we were able to end our conversations without being disagreeable. Feedback we have received from our membership this year confirms that the need for open discussion when it comes to changes and decisions within the district is essential to having successful working relationships. We look forward to a continuation of the public discussions next year to stay in line with the Open Meetings Act. This constant collaboration shows that we are stronger together, and we look forward to the great work we can accomplish under the leadership of Dr. Woodland and the newly elected board members. To our teachers, we thank you for trusting us to represent you every day. The teachers and staff in this school district accomplished something that very few districts can say. We taught synchronously for an entire school year during a pandemic. Your talents, your dedication, your determination, and your accomplishments this school year are profound. We are so honored to be associated with such hard, oh my gosh.
Getting choked up too. Go for it.
Wow.
It really is.
We are so honored to be associated with such hardworking, dedicated professionals.
To our media aides and paraprofessionals, your dedication to our district and to our students is unparalleled. Please know your teachers are so grateful to you for all the times you went above and beyond to make this a successful school year for our students. We know how much you gave of yourself during this synchronous school year. We remain hopeful our paras are called back for the next school year so we can continue to best support the needs of our students. To our office staff and health aides, how you kept track of absences, COVID tracking and quarantine, and substitute schedules on top of your regular duties can only be described as the work of a superhero. Our entire community is grateful to you for your dedication, patience, and kindness because our schools simply would not have functioned without your organization. We continue to respectfully request to our board and superintendents a one-time stipend in compensation for our non-certified staff for all of the extra responsibilities they took on this year to help the district be successful in its synchronous learning plan. We couldn't have done this without them, and we continue to appreciate any consideration you give to this request. So as we approach the end of the school year, we take a moment to recognize how far we've come. In a year where many of our members experienced personal loss and navigated their own families through a pandemic, our membership gave it their all to help our students grow emotionally and academically. We take a moment to acknowledge that Southwest School is ending the year with one less Bulldog present with them, and we remember the laughter and love that Jill brought to those who knew her. Her presence is very missed at Southwest and throughout the district. We wish everyone a relaxing and rejuvenating summer, and again, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to speak with all of you at the board meeting this evening and throughout the
Thank you
school
very
year.
much.
Yes, thank you.
When I say thank you for your heartfelt comments and the acknowledgement of your entire team, and we do appreciate everything that you do.
We look forward to continued communications. So that's awesome. I like this. Like, I'm so glad that this has become a part of our monthly meeting. So thank you. Okay. We're on to board reports. It starts with A, Judy. So I'm putting you right on the spot.
Sure, no, that's quite all right. That's quite all right.
Okay.
So I attended my first Arrow meeting and it was a
Thank you.
busy one. It was a very busy one. So I'll sum it up pretty briefly, but there was a presentation from the architecture firm again. I think they've presented before. And they mainly emphasized the various considerations to the design that ways that they've reduced cost and ways that they've considered student need, like entrance and exit, to, you know, reduce stressful times and allow for outdoor space and movement in the building. They were very detailed in what they provided for that, but they put a lot of thought into it, it seems like. They were pleased to report that the project is on schedule. I don't know if that was new information or not.
It is new information.
They said that they expect building contracts to go out in November and to break ground in the spring. That was the timeline that was provided. They also discussed the challenges of the budget. They, so I know that's not surprising.
Really,
right?
you just jumped in on both feet, so.
Thank you so much for
Yes,
going to that
yes.
meeting.
I know, I was joined by other Evergreen Park members, so that's. And so they talked about the challenges to the budget and mentioned that some contingencies are built in so that there's a little bit of wiggle room in the overall price. They discussed that certain sacrifices are being made. They referenced specifically like landscaping, that they had a wish list on like the outdoor space, but that they were drawing back on that, reducing the number of courtyards. I think that was brought up before. And then Dr. Cannell spoke to how he and a parent rep and I believe some faculty met with state legislators to advocate for the state funding. So they're working very hard to advocate for the state funding. And he seemed pretty positive to me that money will be flowing again in Illinois. So hopefully he's right, but there's no promises. He just seems hopeful and optimistic about it. He also discussed hiring challenges for Arrow. He talked about the staffing and provided a little bit of background because there were several new members there. They currently need 12 teachers, and he discussed that they average more than 30 vacancies for instructional assistants. So that was a current struggle, and there was some more detailed information about their hiring this year. And then he moved on to the 2022 budget. So they provided a very detailed proposed budget. So and the increase is very modest. They were very proud that their increase for next year for their operating expenses was just 0.53%. So they've really tried to trim operating expenses, it seems, or just be very responsible with it. Then he also talked about classroom needs for the upcoming school year and requested support from the some member schools. So I think there may be more information to come on that, but he discussed the need for classroom space. So I think they're specifically looking to lease space in some of the area schools. And then he ended giving us a little bit of background on House Bill 40, which he expects to pass, which I believe he said that extended, allowed, I want to get the language right on this, but it allowed students who aged out to finish the school year, finish their current school year. Does that sound right? There?
So what happens is a child ages out in October, they're gone the next day. So parents of children with disabilities have asked that they at least have a natural ending to the school year. So they
Honestly, that's
continue to stay until the end of the school year. The
that
problem
should be
is,
how it is.
the problem with Illinois is that 80% of our kids with disabilities are unemployed as adults. And so we only have 50, it's called PUNS numbers, so to employ people with disabilities. So Illinois hasn't done a great job for people with disabilities over the age of 22. Yeah. So it provides them with at least 8 more months or 7 more months or 5 more months of education.
So he expected that to pass. He felt like there was a lot of support for it, but then he also talked about House Bill 2748, which I think has a lot more considerations with it because it would add an additional year on for this COVID year for students who aged out or turned 22. And he just expressed concerns about the space for the students since they have space concerns as it is. So if that adds to their student population, that could be a challenge for them to plan for. But it remains to be seen if that will pass. That's just sort of a snapshot. There was a lot more information about the budget, but that sums it up.
That's a whole lot for your first meeting.
Great job.
Thank you very much. And
Sure, my pleasure.
I do appreciate you being willing to, or even our first real board, like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll go to a new committee, no problem. So thank you.
And our board and cow meeting dates for 21-22. Not sure what we're supposed to do. It's just that we have them. You guys received those. Sonia is very gracious. She sends those out via email. When that comes, I think I told you, the new people at least, read it. Because I've ignored it before because I'm like, oh, I know when the meetings are. And then I don't add a cow meeting that's been tacked on or a special meeting that's been tacked on or something like that. So learn from my mistakes, if I can say anything. Just make a note now. Our two missing gentlemen this evening were both work related, so it's not like it's not like they planned to not be here, but that's, if we can be here, that's the best place to be, so. Thank you. And board committee assignments. You all got them? Yeah. I can't even tell you how long I spent on that spreadsheet. Are there questions, concerns?
Not yet.
Not yet. Fair enough. Okay, I appreciate the honesty. There is a couple things to say. I guess this is when. Okay, so and we'll talk about scheduling the policy meeting. I have to check my notes and see who else is on your policy. Are you policy?
Oh, yes, the handbook.
As well. You guys are policy. Okay. So we need to schedule that. But I remember when I got my last policy packet that they said they weren't coming out with anything new until June.
Till the end of June or July.
Okay.
These are only policies. We have.
These are
3 or
internal
4
policies.
internal policies.
Okay,
that we need to deal with before we leave.
So you won't get the ridiculously thick. Oh, not yet, at least. Okay, soon enough. So policy committee deals with internal policies, but also the policies that come from the state that we incorporate or have often already incorporated, or they don't apply to us because it's high school or something like that. So that's what happens in the policy meetings. So you don't have the state one yet, but we still have to discuss the internal stuff. And then I had sent out an email to the board. There was a conversation that I had with Dr. Bridges Webb regarding an ad hoc committee for residency to talk about that, since we are obviously looking at registration and such. And I have at least one person who is willing. We're missing a couple people. So is anyone else just willing to do that for a couple meetings? I know we say that, right?
I would do it. I don't know if I told you I would.
Okay, that's lovely. Nothing like putting you guys totally on the spot also,
Yeah,
so I appreciate
Did you
that.
email us?
I did. And it will be brief. It's more or less looking at current. We had the presentation in April from the gentleman of the National Investigations.
Sales.
Yes, so and that was a solution to a problem if you're having it, but we need a better idea of if we're having a problem, right? So when I was speaking with Dr. Bridges Webb about that, it came about, perhaps we need to actually sit down and discuss what the challenges are and what the solutions might be before we hire somebody to be a solution. That makes sense? Okay. So that's kind of where that came from. It will be brief. Short-lived this summer.
Don't believe her.
I know. I'm gonna hold myself to that if that's okay. But okay, that's wonderful. Thank you. And Claudia was the other. So thank you guys. Okay, so there will be more that comes out from that, and then hopefully there will be recommendations made with more information gathered. So that's the plan. Oh my goodness, I feel like Mr. Kostecki, it's me again. So I'm just monopolizing the board here, I guess. So next is the district. Let me take a step back. Does anybody have questions about committees? Awesome. Okay, so next is district review team meeting. And they really are an organized marvel. So thank you again, Julie O'Connor, for that. There was a meeting on April 26th. There is another one next week, Monday, because that Memorial Day thing is, messing us up on the 31st. obviously, since it was April, we were winding down on some of the questions and comments that were coming up, issues from staff. So, and also not surprisingly, the first issue reported by staff was, actually, let me step back. So there were just a couple comments, there always are. There's also celebrations and things in the buildings, which is great. The comment first from the administration was that they're planning a Zoom staff appreciation for retirees and end of the year in June, Wednesday, June 9th at 8 a.m. I will be bringing my own coffee since it is via Zoom, right? That's the way that works. But more will come out for that, I'm sure. Okay, and so the staff issues, obviously questions about teaching methods for the next school year. Will we have a hybrid school schedule or similar? Dr. Longo stated that synchronized teaching will not take place next year unless it's state mandated. Meaning, and now we know more today, right, from the ISBE that we will be in person. So things change, things evolve, which is great. So I'm glad we have even more resolution on that today. Next was a question about synchronous pay, I don't know, specifics for paras. I don't think there's anything that we could do with that one.
No, it's for planning.
It's for planning, exactly. Right. And then there was also a question about Project Tree, and then finally about questions about the Director of Curriculum and Technology. So we will, I'm sure, learn more about that as we go along as well. And the question was about, coaches and job description and director position. And again, we're all learning more about that as we go. So
Can I just make a question in?
Yeah.
Are we going to be incorporating our potential snow days as remote learning days now that we've learned so much from this year of?
We had an emergency remote learning plan. So now we're going to actually enact, we're going to be submitting to the state board through the ISC4.
Yes.
Remote learning plan that we can use remote learning during snow days. So the kids don't miss out, which some of our families are mourning the end of snow days, right? I think some of our teachers and staff are too. But whenever we can, we're going to be educating children. Right? Wonderful.
How will that work when students leave their device at the school at the end of the day? Will they be bringing their devices home? Because not everyone.
Yeah, no, we have sort of worked with our kids to make sure that they have their devices on. This year has been a really good year for our kids, and so we'll be making sure the kids bring the devices home with them. We're also purchasing more devices too with some of our title money. So some of our kids will have newer devices. So yes, they'll be bringing with them.
A lot of times they're submitting homework that way.
What's that?
A lot of times they're submitting their
Yes,
homework with their device at home in the evening.
Yes, right.
Nothing like a pandemic though to throw our total philosophy about children bringing home their devices on a daily basis. Like we really struggled with that as a board for a long time about our policy. They're like, oh, pandemic, well, yes, everyone's doing it now.
Yeah.
So it's very good. Has there been a lot of replacement issues?
Really?
No.
Compared to how it normally is, actually probably better.
Isn't it?
Well,
There's headphones.
the kids are staying in their class at Central, so we're not seeing.
Oh, that's
Dropping them
the
down the
movement
hall.
of the devices. Yeah, that's true. That's where it falls to probably. That's interesting.
I had to replace the cord on my daughter's. I picked it up while it was still plugged in, so.
Oh,
That
was on me. I was like, oops.
Remember that meeting last summer? Do we let them take them home? Do we?
Yeah, do you remember that? Yeah, like
I
it was
remember
a
that.
struggle. We didn't know
We were
where
in the
we
media
stood.
center at Central. Do we do it or do we not do it? Nope.
And then
do it.
basically it was taken out of our hands.
And everyone appreciates the emergency plan in June. They don't appreciate it in February.
Yeah, you think?
when the school year doesn't go an extra week, people are more appreciative. Yes, they might have forgotten the snow day by then, we can only hope, right? So, wonderful, so it sounds like that's in the works as well. And then I was not part of the handbook meeting, so.
So the handbook committee was me.
Oh. Maybe it was you?
It was me, and there was something that we were I was unable to attend. I don't remember why, but I think we had a board meeting that night. That's the night of the cow meeting, so I just could not shuffle a 3:30, be here by 4:30, 5:30.
Okay.
So we have several changes, things that we have to have in there that are mandated by law. And so Sonia's busily working on those, documented paper pages of changes that need to be enacted, both for general education kids and children with disabilities. We have to clearly outline things like Title IX and those types of things. Some of our administrators will be trained in harassment and those types of things. They have been trained, but specifically as officers. So there were several things that needed updating probably for the last couple of years, and so we're making sure that those are enacted. Pandemic got in the way, right?
Right. Answer to a lot of things. All right, so next is scheduling the board policy committee meeting. And policy is Claudia and Judy. And it needs to be soon, but not immediate. Is that what I'm hearing?
Before the next board meeting.
Before the next board meeting?
Yes.
I know your workday ends at 3:30. 3:30, okay. Is there a day, like, I've only been on the receiving end of
So
scheduling
the
the
policy
policy
always
meeting,
used to
so.
meet the night of the board meeting before, like an hour before, so it didn't tie up everyone. Superintendent, that's how we did it when I was on policy.
Yeah, I mean, there was,
We have foundation.
we've done it remote, we've done it afternoons, it was Dan and I, and he had a flexible schedule and I had I remember being here like a mid-afternoon on a Wednesday a couple times. So the point is, you guys get to make it your
I'm
own.
fine with doing it on the same night as the board meeting if that works for you.
Yeah, sure, that works for me, absolutely.
Could we do June 16th at 4 o'clock? So we have foundation at 5.
Sure.
Okay.
That was too easy.
I'm sorry, what time? Policy meeting is 4 o'clock on June 16th.
Foundation is here.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Great. Well, thank you. We are on to our, any other questions? I keep jumping ahead, sorry. Okay, great. Moving on then to our action items. And this is, okay. So, the first time I've read the consent agenda, right? So, consent agenda item number A is to, 1, approve the monthly transaction reports for April 2021. 2, approve fund balance reports for April of 2021. 3 is to approve the expenditure report and projected payroll report for May of 2021. 4 is to approve the board minutes from the special and organizational meeting of April 28th, 2021. 5 is to approve destruction of closed session tapes from February of 2017. And 6 is to add, leave, or resignation with intent to hire or resignations as listed on the agenda, to accept those. I don't need to list those specifically. Okay, great. I can, but so if I could have someone to make that first motion to approve consent agenda item A.
I'll make that motion.
And a second, please.
I'll second.
And a roll call.
Claudia Parker? Judy Rakeson?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard? Yes. Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion is passed.
So item number B. Item number B is to approve the resignation of Mr. Daniel Malloy, board member, effective as of May 19th, as of this board meeting. Mr. Malloy and his family are moving out of the district, and we know this, but he is stuck at work. We are celebrating him this evening, and he's not even here. So you all get to hear my speech, even though he doesn't get to hear my speech.
We're gonna make him listen to it.
We are.
Listening in.
So,
Tying up wires on a pole.
there's more official stuff that we have to go into after this, but most importantly is to appreciate Dan. I can't believe he's not here. So to appreciate Dan and his years of service. I do not have available to me the stats that Kim had when folks were leaving about how many board meetings people attended or how many policy meetings. But I do know that Dan has faithfully served his last 2 years remotely and in person, obviously, with sleep and without sleep, as he is often heading off to work when the rest of us are heading home from the meeting. So I really do appreciate all of that. And he's doing it all while keeping the lights on for us. So he has worked tirelessly. So he served on the facilities committee, and he and I had the pleasure of serving with him on policy committee and is alternating reps to the monthly district review team meetings. So, and in addition, to missing Dan, our district will miss his family and their contributions. They were very involved in Northwest School and Central Middle School, and we will be sadder for their leaving, but we are excited and wish them all the best. So I thought we needed to buy him an evergreen tree for his new home, because doesn't everybody want to drive 6 states away with an evergreen tree? So cooler heads prevailed, and we have a gift for him that will help him perhaps purchase an evergreen tree at his destination. So there is that. I guess we have to get that to him. I thought that would be great. Doesn't everybody want that side tree?
He'll have his roots in evergreen still in Tennessee.
Exactly.
There
That
we
was
go.
that was
Yep, I love that.
poetic part. But so Dan, whenever you're watching this, you are much appreciated, and we will be eating cupcakes
very
on
soon
your behalf to celebrate you and appreciate you. And we're sorry that he's not here tonight. So that's that. But his resignation also does leave a vacancy on the board. And so we have begun the process of, I reached out to Dr. Kinder, who is our area person with IASB, to set the wheels in motion. We need to replace Mr. Malloy within 60 days of his resignation. And so we will be posting an application on the website to be submitted virtually for people who are interested in filling that vacancy. So the deadline, the form is ready to go, and the deadline will be 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then we will go through the interview process, and we will have a new person hopefully in place to announce at our June board meeting, so which is well within our 60 days. Otherwise, we have to call a special meeting. I'll try not to do that.
In June.
In June, yes. I think our deadline is, July 14th or something like that. So our June meeting will be plenty of time, and that's how we fill his vacancy. Though we could never fill his shoes. So I hope he listens. I really hope he listens, because we will miss him terribly. Okay. So I guess we still have to, because it's a consent agenda, we actually have to vote on it. So to approve the resignation of Daniel Malloy, board member, effective May 19th. Do I have a first?
I'll make that motion.
And a second.
Boo.
I'll second. I like having him around.
I know. And a roll call, please.
All right, Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Judy Basin,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
All right, motion is approved with much sadness. He's been great for our community, so appreciate all of his commitment to our board work.
Yep, definitely. And so next is next item on the agenda is to approve our Director of Curriculum Instruction and Educational Technology for 2021-2022 school year. Can I hand that off to you? Do you have things to say about that?
Of course.
Wonderful.
So we have Dr. Ashley Carlson here tonight to join us. I'm not certain how if you want to make a motion to approve her and then I can introduce
okay.
her.
We'll take a motion to that. I just get so excited.
I know, and that's wonderful, and I'm super excited, but I want to make sure she's for sure hired.
So may I have a motion, please, to approve the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Educational Technology for 21-22 school year. Do I have a first?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a roll call, please.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Judy Basin,
Yes.
Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion has passed.
So we went through a process of 47 applicants for the Director of Curriculum Instruction at Evergreen Park. And we are fortunate enough to bring to you Dr. Ashley Carlson. And Ashley Carlson comes to us with 13 years of teaching experience, 6 years of successful administrative experience in the area of curriculum development. She has worn multiple hats and spoke to her ground up review of curriculum processes. And we are excited to welcome her today. So she is going to come up and speak to everybody. And
give gifts.
And of course, there's gifts, and cupcakes.
Yes, yes.
She's, I asked her to see her.
I'll let you speak before I hand you
So good to see everybody. I just want to take a minute and thank the Board of Education and thank Dr. Woodland. I am so excited and honored to have been chosen for this position. I had no idea there were 47 applicants, which is exciting too. Curriculum and instruction is really a passion of mine. I love working alongside teachers and administrators, really to ensure quality education for all students. I believe strongly in that. You will find as you get to know me, I'm a relationship person. I love working with people and collaborating. I am leaving a district that was home to me for 6 years. And while that makes me sad, I also know that change is important in order for us to grow. And I feel strongly about that as well. At my current district, we are like family and we celebrate together. We lift one another up when we're struggling. We might not always agree on everything, but we always support one another for the greater purpose, which is working for our students. In this short time, and tonight has been a wonderful example of that, I have no doubt that I will be able to make Evergreen Park my home and to serve the folks here. It's been wonderful to hear all of the great stories tonight and celebrate all of you, and I'm excited to be a part of that. I have little doubt with the kindness and generosity that I've felt in this short time that I've been through this process, that I will be able to make family here as well. And I look forward to getting to know all of you and working alongside of you in order to do great things for the kids here in this community. So I have such great gratitude to all of you, and I will work hard to make sure that I live up to all of your expectations. So thank you so much.
And of course, there's cupcakes. So a
Where
lot
would
of
you like
cupcakes.
this, Alex?
Okay.
No pressure.
Love your enthusiasm.
Well, I'm so thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Me too. Okay. I'll rein it in. We'll get through. Okay. Action item D is to approve our summer custodial staff. If I could have a first for that, please.
I'll make the motion.
And a second,
I'll second.
and a roll call, please.
Judy Mason,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes,
Motion is passed.
thank you. We have moved E, so we are moving on to previously named F. To approve the adjustment of work calendar for extended day coordinator for the 2021 school year. If I could have someone make a motion, please,
I'll make the motion.
and a second,
I'll second it.
and a roll call.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Judy Mason,
Yes.
Claudia Parker, Colleen Clemzak,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Motion is passed.
And if I could please, let's see, next is to, I'm sorry, what, please?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Next is to approve the audit firm recommendation, which is Lauterbach and Amen LLP. If I could have a first to make that motion, please,
I'll make the first motion.
and a second,
I'll second.
and a roll call.
Kim Leonard, yes. Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Judy Mason,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak,
Yes.
Claudia Parker. Kim Leonard, yes. Motion, oh, did I already call myself? Maybe I did not. Yeah, motion is passed. I don't know.
It's a quorum. Quorum's a quorum. We're good. Next is to approve the extended day fees as brought to us tonight by Mr. Kostecki for the 21-22 school year. If I could have someone please make that motion,
I'll make that motion.
and a second,
I'll second it.
great, and a roll call.
Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Judy Mason,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Colleen Clemzak,
Yes. Motion is passed.
H. Oh, motion is passed. Sorry,
That's okay.
you know, this is all new to me over
It's
here.
new to me
It's
too.
been a long
We're
time since
getting
I've
there.
sat in
We're
the
doing all right.
secretariat.
So, next is item I, to approve the Arrow Summer School use of facilities. If I could have someone to make that first motion,
I'll make the motion.
and a second,
I'll second.
and a roll call, please.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Judy Mason,
Yes.
Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Now we're on I.
Okay. Just have to adjust up. I got you. All right. So item I is to approve our Arrow Governing Board representative. Thank you very much.
We're all gonna make that motion.
Anybody? Yes, yes. Who would like to make that first motion, please?
I must spit my water.
Baptism by fire, we've already said it. We still need to, yes, make a motion. please.
I'll make the first motion.
Great, and a second,
I'll second.
and a roll call.
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak,
Yes.
Judith Rayson,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Motion has passed.
Hey.
Thanks for stepping up, Judy.
Thank you so much. So newly titled J is to approve the 21-22 board and committee of the whole meeting calendar. If I could have a first motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and a second,
I'll second.
and a roll call.
Claudia Parker,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard, yes. Judy Mason,
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
All right, motion is approved. Now we move on to K.
K. K is to approve the parent handbook for 21-22 school year. You said edits were still being made.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Oh, we have that. You sent that out. That's right. Okay. All right. So item K then, to approve parent handbook for 21-22 school year. If I could have someone please make that first motion.
I'll make the first motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
Great. And a roll call?
Kim Leonard, yes. Claudia Parker? Yes. Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Judy Grayson?
Yes.
All right, motion is passed.
L. Item number L is to approve the roofing proposal as presented. If I have a first motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
And a second,
I'll second.
and a roll call?
Claudia Parker?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Kim Leonard, yes. Judy Grayson?
Yes.
And Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Great. So if there is nothing more that we need to consent to, we are going to recess to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity. So do I have someone to make?
Action expected.
There is action expected after closed session, and I have been told it won't be terribly long. Yes.
But it's to stay.
I'll certainly.
It's about the principal.
So, but you don't need to stay.
Please help yourself to cupcakes
Yes.
before you go.
Oh, wait, no, we have to still make a motion.
So I need to make that motion to recess. Do we have a first motion? Okay, and a second.
I'll second.
And a roll call.
All right, Judy Grayson?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Claudia Parker?
Yes.
Kimberly Leonard? Yes, motion is passed. Let's go eat our cupcakes.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
I mean, it's fine. I mean.
Yeah.